Hi, in previous two videos, we covered some of the basics of an open source software, GitHub. We also forked repository and submitted our changes to Bitcoin Design Guide on our computer. Before we push these changes to the world to review, one more thing I would like to teach you is how you can preview these changes locally by building Bitcoin.design website on your own computer, because I already explained that changes we do here are not visible at the Bitcoin.design website. In the Bitcoin Design Guide, there is a section called Run Locally, and it gives an explanation on how to run a website. I'll now go through this. So, some of these may be different depending on what operating system you're using, but since most of the designers are either using Mac or Windows, I will focus on this too. To run the website locally, there are first two requirements. We need Ruby and we need Bundler. Visit the Ruby link first, and here you can download Ruby for your operating system. But this page here very nicely says, before you install a Ruby, first make sure that you have it. So how do we check if we have Ruby? This is a command which we need to enter in our terminal. So if you're on Mac, type in Command F and then type in terminal to open it. And on Windows, we can open PowerShell. And just Ruby space -v and enter. And on my PC, I do have Ruby installed. And if it's case with your computer as well, either Windows or Mac or whatever, then you do not need to install it. However, if you do not have Ruby, here are available installation methods, and for Windows I would download Ruby installer, for example. Then you could download it and install it. Download this one and you need to install it. Okay, let's say that you installed Ruby. If you have any problems, their website really covers all of these methods very nicely, but if you're having trouble installing Ruby, feel free to reach out in the Bitcoin Design Slack so we can figure it out. Anyway, we installed Ruby. Let's install Bundler. Bundler is located at bundler.io. And I like Ruby, and like Ruby, they also give you a good command on how to install it. You need this command. So just copy the command here, open your terminal. I will again open my PowerShell and paste it. What you may need to do first if you're on Mac is type in sudo su space dash and then enter before you can execute this command. On PowerShell, it is just gem install bundler. And now when you type enter, Bundler will be installed on your computer. So we installed Ruby and Bundler. What next? Well, let's just follow the instructions. Basically, what this means is open a terminal into that folder. So let's now open that folder. Since I have GitHub desktop already here, I will just go show in folder and head back to that folder where we have it. For Windows, hold Shift and right click. It is important that you hold Shift because then you'll see this open PowerShell window here. And then it will automatically open this folder into terminal. For Mac users, there is also a nice shortcut, but for some versions you need to activate it first. So you go to System Preferences, Keyboards, then you find Shortcuts, and then make sure that these two are enabled. So on Mac, then you would need to again find the folder, go to Services, right click, go to Services, and then New Terminal, add a folder. And then it will also open for you in a Mac this same way. If you're having troubles, again, feel free to reach out, we'll figure out. Sometimes these things like opening a proper folder are the biggest setbacks, believe it or not, for new users. Anyway, now that we are in the folder, the next step is simply to run bundle install. But make sure, of course, that you're in a folder. Bundle install, enter. And this will again take some time. Since I already have all of these installed, it will be a bit quicker. And finally, we need to serve this. So bundle exec jkill serve, enter. And once you see this server address, you can copy it either from your command line, or you can, just type it in your browsers. It really depends. In most cases, it does serve it on this link. So in your browser, Just paste this and enter. And now what we have here is our own copy on the Bitcoin Design Guideline website. How do we know that? Well, we scroll all the way back and we see that we are helping make Bitcoin amazing and cool, bro. Congratulations, you now are certain that the changes you applied look cool, you're satisfied with them, nothing is broken. And what should we do now? Let's announce our changes. Head back to your GitHub desktop in case you see something like this. It may happen. Right click on it, discard changes. This is a system error, do not worry about it. If you don't see it, good. What we want to see is the announcement here that we should publish our branch. This will publish our changes on our copy hosted on GitHub. So let's click publish branch. And now it will again suggest us to create a pull request. I already mentioned that creating a pull request is basically suggesting our changes, announcing them to the community to review. So click create a pull request and you'll automatically be redirected to GitHub. When making a pull request, it is always a good idea to give a little bit more context to whatever change you're making. This is very important because you see maintainers are constantly bombarded with pull requests, and the pull requests that are always usually reviewed first are the ones that make sense and that have good context so that they don't have to spend way too much time figuring out what you wanted to do. So make sure to make your titles descriptive, create maybe a list of changes you made here, and in case your pull request is related to a certain issue or a ticket that you earlier saw, you can just do this hashtag and then ticket number 62, for example. Once you add a text here, you can also preview your changes again at the bottom. Once you do that, click create a pull request. Okay, and now that's everything that you need to do. Now just wait for a reviewer or people to comment on your changes. Once they do that, if, for example, they have a comment on you need to update something, you can always head back. So let's say that some of them commented that we need to change something. Open again whatever page you want, adding more stuff here. And always you click save, your changes are applied, you again commit these changes, and once you can push them, always push them. So how would that look on the web? Let's head back to GitHub. You can now see our second change has been pushed. And people that go to our pull requests, maintainers that go to pull requests, they will now see your pull request and maybe they will review it. And if they agree, they can approve it, comment to it. And that's everything. That's how you did your first contribution and pull request. Once your pull request is merged, you will officially become Bitcoin Design Guide contributor. Thank you so much for watching this video series. I know that some of these things may be overwhelming and that you might have some questions. Feel free to reach out to me at Pavlenex and Bitcoin Design Guidelines Slack. Do not hesitate to ask any questions. As you can see, it's really not that complicated. It's basically you creating your own copy, making changes, building a website in order to test those changes, which is not something you always need to do, but I wanted to show it to you. And then just pushing your changes for people to review. Then people review changes and accept them. That's basically everything. Thank you for watching. Again, do not hesitate to ask any questions that you might have, and I hope to see your first contribution in the Bitcoin Design Guideline. Bye bye.